What is going on, guys? My name is Cody and welcome back to another reaction video where today we are actually going to be looking at how Palpatine almost succeeded in making Order 66 invincible, canon Star Wars explained by Star Wars Theory. If you do enjoy this reaction video, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe, turn on notifications, also subscribe to Star Wars Theory. And with that being said, let's begin.
We would be honored if you would join us.
With the third installment of the Thrawn trilogy coming out, I wanted to talk about something from the book 2 called Thrawn Alliances that definitely will come into play into the third book, Thrawn Treason. It all has to do with the biggest weakness of a lightsaber that isn't seen in any of the films. We all know that a lightsaber, if given enough time, can cut through just about anything except energy shields and other lightsabers. But the new canon has brought back another element that a lightsaber is powerless against, and that material is cortosis. Cortosis was a very unique substance that was also very rare. It had the unique ability to redirect energy being fed into it. Cortosis is not new for those of us familiar with legends, but the first instance that we've seen cortosis in canon is in the book A New Dawn, where Count Vidian wears a cortosis weave skin mesh that could absorb blaster fire from Hera and Kanan Jarrus. It could even redirect the energy from a bolt that ran into him from someone else. So it's a pretty cool substance. In the canon book Thrawn Alliances, Anakin, Thrawn, and Padme are on the planet Mokivja and find a secret separatist droid factory. All seems normal until Anakin runs up to some B-2 battle droids guarding the factory. Anakin jumps on a table. The B-2 raises their wrist blasters, and Anakin swings him down. He hits their arms, but his lightsaber shuts off. Anakin stares for a second in shock. He turns it on again and swings it down on another droid, but his blade turns off again. No matter if he swung hard or barely nicked the battle droids, the moment he made contact with its armor, the blade shut off. So you see, the cortosis weave of battle droid armor had the ability to redirect the power of the lightsaber back into, and thus short it out and turn off the blade. There was no long-term damage to the saber, and Anakin could turn it back on nearly right away, but even the slightest touch would short out and turn off his blade. He ends up having to kill them all by sticking his blade through their eyes, which was the only part not weaved with cortosis. So why have we never seen this cortosis in the films if the Separatists were making a whole droid army with it? Because Anakin blows up the mine for it, and they sabotage all the droids to explode after a few moments on the battlefield. But the most interesting thing about cortosis is what else the factory was making in addition to battle droids. The factory was also making clone armor with cortosis, which, like the droids, was invulnerable to lightsabers and blaster fire. Essentially, an invincible armor. At the time, Anakin had no idea what it was for, but assured that the Separatists were going to use it to impersonate clones and launch an invasion of the Senate District of Coruscant. Thrawn, being the tactical genius that he is, expressed his doubt that the plan of the Separatists was to use the clone army to do a full-scale invasion, but rather to do something much more subtle, like a gradual infiltration, since that would be far less likely to be discovered until it was too late. So he felt the armor wasn't for a large invasion at all. Of course, he was right, and the cortosis clone armor was really orchestrated by Darth Sidious as an extra insurance policy for Order 66 against the Jedi, just in case they weren't taken by surprise as he had hoped. This cortosis armor wasn't used, of course, since Anakin destroys it, but it shows how much Palpatine was doing to ensure his plan worked. It could make me wonder what else he had up his sleeve as plan B, C, and D for his plot to kill the Jedi. If this had worked, then Order 66 would have been even more successful than it already was, since no Jedi could basically kill any clones unless they went in between their armpit sockets or their neck sockets or neck cracks or whatever. Now, the story with cortosis doesn't end here, because years later after the Clone Wars, Vader and Thrawn discover that the Grisks, an extremely dangerous species from the unknown regions, are also using cortosis in their technology, and may even have given it to Dooku in the first place, in a bid to infiltrate the Republic. The Grisks are important since we'll definitely see them in Thrawn Treason, so I'm going to hold off on talking much about them, and make a bigger video about them once I read the new book. So while Thrawn Alliances does a good job at explaining why we don't see cortosis in Episode 3, it leaves the door open for some serious battles to go down between the Empire and the Grisk species before Episode 4. For instance, Will Vader be able to use his lightsaber against them? Or will he be forced to only rely on the Force to defeat them? I don't know about you, but I think I'd be more terrified of a Vader without a lightsaber than a Vader with one. What do you guys think? Do you want to see more Cortosis in the movies so the Jedi and Sith have to rely on the Force more to fight? I love lightsaber fights, but I'm also game to see some of the serious Force action out there. So I guess this would be another way that they could destroy anyone wearing Cortosis, especially if you're Starkiller, you just crush them. Hope you enjoyed this canon video. Leave a like if you did.
Well, that's the end of this video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, as well as subscribe to Star Wars Theory. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time.